My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2 Hard Mode. Now we're starting today's episode sat outside our dual passenger and cargo line that's running through West Ham, as we see one of the commuter trains make its way from West Ham to Portishead there on our screen right now. And the aim of today's episode is to try and continue some work in and around Marlborough that we started in the previous episode. If you remember, of course, we did set up a passenger line to Marlborough, and we started setting up an intercity commuter service that was running from Burton upon Trent into Marlborough, and we're going to continue looking at Marlborough today. So let's bring up the user interface for today. 4.2 billion in the bank and 150 million cash flow is the current state of affairs, and we're pretty much halfway through 1997, so things are progressing very nicely, and we find ourselves in a very comfortable situation, which allows us to be a little bit more extravagant with our lines, which is always quite fun and interesting, and it's a nice position to find ourselves in, of course. So let's zoom out and make our way over to Marlborough now. Okay, so here's Marlborough now. I have made one tweak off camera. When I was doing the video editing, I noticed that I'd once again mistakenly named this line here as an inner city shuttle. As you can see now, I have changed that to intercity shuttle, which of course better reflects its status and its duties, so that's been taken care of. So for today then, what do we want to do? Now, we have a goods factory very close to Marlborough. Obviously it's the one just over here that is currently being used to supply goods to Lewis. So using this goods factory to supply Marlborough would probably make the most sense. It only has one consumer at the moment, so there's plenty of scope for this one to supply both Marlborough and Lewis. And given that we have a lot of the infrastructure in position for this goods factory already, that would make the most sense. So my feeling is that if we come this way from the goods factory, we can have a line that separates here, bridges over this cargo line here heading to the tools factory, and we can have a cargo exchange in this area here. This would leave us with a nice short run from the factory into Marlborough for the tools delivery. So let's get started. So we want cargo station, of course. I think we'll go for 4 tracks, and we're going to need the maximum length for this these days. Of course, our trains are often pushing 320 meters, and we'll have the station set up maybe about there, and we'll rename it to Marlborough Freight. Nice and simple. And then it's not going to be too difficult to get these lines connected in somewhere over here with a bridge over the top of these lines here. To make a start on the lines, we'll put the bridge in first of all. That always seems to be the best option here. And we'll just have a nice simple bridge over the top just here. There we go. And then now this should be very straightforward, bringing it into our existing lines. Of course, it helps if I take away that elevation step. There we go. So yes, now if we just bring this down here, we want to go as long as possible. That's to avoid having a gradient that's overly excessive, and that looks pretty good to me. And we're still leaving ourselves plenty of room to connect in, of course, which is another consideration that we need to be making here. And then we can just bring this straight over these lines. There, well, that's a decent speed there as well. I think 71 miles per hour. We've got 59 miles per hour there, but it's not too much of an excessive slowdown. And now if we double that up onto the bridge, all we have to do from there on out is go in the opposite direction from the bridge to the station that we've just constructed, and then we'll be able to start sending down the trains and getting the line set up. So there we go, pretty much done already, nice and simple this morning. And then a straight shot into this station. Don't have to do anything too fancy or too extravagant for this. And now we can set up the line. So let's put one crossover point here, 75 miles per hour. That way our trains will have to use platform 1, which means we can use platform 2 for something else. And let's go ahead and put some signals down as well, nice and quickly. Managed to unlock 10 new vehicles, Boeing 737, 9004 in various different liveries, and another Class 158 with a different livery as well, and the BR Class 66. So all the new vehicles are always welcome, of course. Could look at some of them when we're setting up this new line here, and whether they'd be suitable to haul the freight. After all, this is not a very long journey time, and we'll could probably get away with a slightly less powerful train down here. So that's something to bear in mind. Now let's get the road infrastructure in place that we need over here. And for that we're going to need a truck station. And we'll have it with a direct connection like that. I think it's probably not the bad idea if we go ahead and expand the length of this. And we'll put 3 either side, and that's going to keep it nice and central on the station platform building. And it just looks good. Obviously we need an extra street access there as well while we're here. There we go, and we'll rename this to Marlborough Freight as well. All part of the same construction then. And now we can put down our roads that are going to bring us into Marlborough, so our vehicles can actually get in and deliver the cargo to where it's needed. Speaking of which, let's have a look where the cargo is needed. Here's our goods over in the far end of town, and I think we'll have the drop-off point located just there for this. So what we'll do now is we'll actually set up this line first of all, so the truck's there ready and waiting. Yes, that will do. We'll change the directions and the likes later. For now, that's going to be more than good enough. We want these to be fully loaded, of course, and these are carrying goods. There it is. Let's quickly name this line as well. There we go, goods delivery Marlborough, from Marlborough Freight to the Avenue. Let's take a minute here just to put some waypoints down so the vehicles are going exactly where we want them to go. What we want them to do is to come out that way, yes. So if we tell them to swap onto Terminal 2, brilliant, and then get rid of that. On this goods delivery after the Avenue, we'd like them to come this way. There we go. We already have a vehicle depot here. Let's go ahead and get a truck running on this line ready. We'll go for the 42 capacity, and we'll have, let's go for the container one this time, and I think 3 is going to be enough to handle this. These do have high capacity, of course. So initially they're going to be sat there doing a whole load of nothing because we don't have any trains delivering in the goods, of course, but we can quickly set that up now. Now we have the platform space to spare over here, as we can see, and this is going to be this colour. And again, we want this to be fully loaded over here. And once again, make sure you're only taking the goods. There you go. And then you're coming over here on our newly constructed line into the Marlborough Freight Yard there. Just make sure there's no line or platform sharing over here, which there is not, so that's great. And let's now name this one. There we go, this is goods freight to Marlborough. Nice and straightforward. Now we can purchase a train for this. And I think we could use this depot here because the train could come down here, along here, through here, and onto the platform. So a quick look at those new vehicles that we unlocked. BR Class 66, they might be quite useful here. Decent enough power, not overly expensive per year. And here's the new, I guess this was the new class 9000s that we got as well. A little bit more expensive and perhaps a little bit too much for what we need. So yeah, we'll use the BR class 66 for this. And we're wanting the box cars, of course. And I think let's go for an 8-wagon train for this. That gives us a good speed rating, and we're still able to hit 75 miles an hour across all of the gradients. I think one train is going to be enough for this as well. Don't need anything too extravagant. So now we can assign this new train to the line. And away it goes. We now have a way to get the goods from the factory into the town of Marlborough, and that's going to help stimulate some growth as well. In the future, we're also going to want to look at these machines here. We have a machinery factory right on the doorstep, so it would make sense to utilise this here. We will need planks and steel for this. Now, planks we are already producing over here, and I do believe these are only going to one consumer, yes, to Whitnash. But as we can see, these only have a spare 200 capacity available. They're already shipping 600 into Whitnash, so it might be an idea to look for a second lumber mill that we could use instead of this one that's got a little bit more spare capacity, although I'm not sure if we have one. Not reasonably close. We have this one here, but that's excessively far away, so I think we will have to use the one that's already supplying Whitnash and hope that it doesn't draw too much of a burden on the lumber mill, which is going to affect the output over here at Whitnash itself. Now, the handy thing about this one is it's already active, as we know, because we have the trucks what are supplying the logs and then taking the planks onwards. We'd also need steel, of course. Now, there is a steel mill just here as well, so that would make quite a lot of sense to use that one. And looking at that steel mill, we do have coal and iron nearby as well, so activating that steel mill wouldn't be too difficult either. The only issue we might have is getting all the infrastructure in place for this, because it's quite tight around here. We don't have a lot of space, and we'd ideally want to keep this looking nice and tidy if we can. So that's a consideration to bear in mind, of course, how we want to deal with that. For now, I think it's worthwhile having a look at this new train just as it comes on through Burton. We haven't seen it yet. It's the first time we've seen this locomotive on the map, so that's a very, what's the word I'm looking for, ubiquitous cargo locomotive in the UK. You see them all the time, so to see one on the map is very good because it just fits in with the theme very nicely. We just get nice and close, yes. Yes, very commonplace train in the UK, that one. So I'm pleased to see it finally make an appearance on our map, and it's great that we've been able to unlock that one as well. Right, interesting, we don't have any production yet for Marlborough, which is a little strange. We have the resources in store. I wonder why. Oh, these are not connected. Well, that'll explain that one. Let's quickly pause it then. And what we're going to have to do is put a little road in there to give it the link. There we go. Now it'll start producing. And then just bring this in to our active network, just so it doesn't look out of place. And now we should start seeing production of the goods over here. I mean, the factory is upgrading, which is always a positive sign. Now, it's still only listing Lewis as a consumer, rather than Lewis and Marlborough. Let's just accelerate the time at just a fraction. Okay, still no production for Marlborough. I wonder what's going on there. That's now got an active link. Where are the road vehicles we purchased? Ah, that's why we never actually set them onto the line. That might help. Right, let's see if that kick-starts the production over at the factory. I'm hoping that it will now. Did I see something then? No. Right, let's check all the lines here to make sure I haven't messed up on the orders. Loading goods, yes. unloading everything, so that's working fine. Oh no, it's working now. I can just see the first 2 crates here starting to spawn. So the factory is now picking up the orders from Marlborough, and it's going to start populating the platform, ready for our train, which is just on its final approach now. Okay, so that's the goods into Marlborough finally taken care of and ready to go. I think what we'll also do in this episode nice and quickly is get this passenger station connected in to Nuneaton or Market Raisin. I think we'll go for Market Raisin. So what we're going to need, obviously, is a station in Market Raisin, somewhere for the trains to actually go to. So let's put down a station over here. We'll have 4 platform for this. That's a cargo station, that's better. We want blue, building size 2, yes that's fine. High speed, long canopy. And we'll put that right there. So this is our final town to join the network, and it's also the last town that we have available on the map. So pretty soon all our towns are now going to have access, even if not direct access, to all other towns on our map, which is a bit of a momentous moment there when everything's all connected up and all the residents can get anywhere across the map that they so desire. Let's just get this set up. Just a very quick and easy setup there with a diamond, and then cross over to all 4 platforms, and now we can run this out towards the station at Marlborough. What do we have now? Some more locomotives and some more Pacer trains, the Class 170 Turbo Star. Well, we could look at some of those new Pacers for this line between Marlborough and Market Raisin, so that's quite fortuitous timing there. For now, of course, we just want to focus on getting this line over there, don't we? So we're going to have to deal with this here. And I think we'll start climbing. If you look, that is quite elevated, so there's nothing wrong with us climbing up nice and early. That'll ensure that our trains aren't struggling or overly struggling with the gradient to jump over this freight line here. Right, if we did a straight shot now, would that put a bridge over there? Indeed it would. And in fact we could probably, well, quite easily start to come down. How's that? That looks perfect. So let's change the bridge style, of course, to something a bit more suitable, such as that. So we've probably climbed up a little further than we really needed, but that should be okay. And now, since we're already on a bridge, we may as well continue the bridge straight on over the river. Just check which direction we're headed in. Okay, we want to open out that way a little bit, which is great because it means we're getting much more speed. There we go. So this is quite an extensive bridge system. Getting quite a lot of lag now as we're constructing the lines, as you can see. Luckily it's not freezing or acting like it's about to crash. It's just a bit of a, well, I say a bit, it's now quite a major FPS drop when it comes to laying in new tracks. But I'm sure we can live with that. We are at the end game of this map, of course, so it won't be for too much longer. And there we go. Now we have a connection to all of our towns after bringing in the town of Market Raisin. Let's put down these signals for this newly constructed set of stretch of track. One way, yes, of course, and I'm just going to do these manually from here on out. And there we go. That's all the signals put in place. So now we can put together a locomotive to run on this line. Of course, first of all, we need to put a line down. So this is Marlborough to Market Raisin. Where's the line? There it is. This is the intercity shuttle, Marlborough to Market Raisin, and I have made sure to call it intercity rather than inner city. So now we can purchase the train, and again we can use this depot over here if I can find it. There it is. So here's the Class 170 trains that we'd recently unlocked. Not bad for little pacers and on a commuter shuttle line. They should do exactly what we need them to do. So I think we'll go for one of these, and these are on the cross-country livery, as we can see. And I think a two-car pacer is going to be enough. That still gives us 102 capacity. How's the speed? Not great, but not the worst. And for a little shuttle service, that's going to be fine. So we'll take 2 of those, please. And then we'll head over here so we can actually see the line that it's going to be operating on. And away they go. Okay, now there's not going to be any passenger generation just yet, as we know, because this is not connected. So let's get this joined in with market raising. Alright, there we go, that's a road connection. Now we can just put a quick bus stop service in, and we'll just have this be a full city loop, like that. There we go, that just gives us a blanket coverage. And this is the inner city bus market raising station. The last thing we'll need, of course, is the road depot. Now I think we'll go for the Volvo 5000 just to be a little bit different. And we'll colour them green. And we'll put them on the route, and we'll have a look at these buses. This is the first time they've made an appearance on the map, of course. Yep, it's your bog standard generic UK style bus there. Nothing too fancy, nothing too extravagant. Inner city bus, and we've got the next station stop on the side as well, which is always nice to see. Adds a bit of immersion, even if in some of them the stop name is ever so slightly cut off. Wonderful. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to call an end to proceedings for today. So let's just decide what we want to have a ride on for today. I think what we'll do is we'll wait until our new shuttle service gets over. Oh, that's right, so I was looking at the wrong train, I was confused then. Yes, we'll wait until our new shuttle train gets down to Market Raisin, and then we'll take a ride on that one on our newly constructed tracks into Marlborough and Market Raisin. Here's the shuttle here. So what we'll do, we'll say our farewells now, and then I'll put a little cut in, and when we're ready to depart from Marlborough, that's when we'll pick up the little cab ride for the outro. So thank you very much for your patronage, as always, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, we are getting close to the end game for this map and this series now, so I'm always interested to hear your thoughts as to where we take it, or where we head, I should say, in the next series. If anybody has any particular requests for anything such as theme or map style, then please let me know. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, then as always, the thumbs up would be appreciated down below. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then obviously you can consider doing so. It does help the channel, and really is a great way to show your support. For now, all that remains for me to say, as always, ladies and gentlemen, is take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.